We are live. Hi guys, tonight's episode we are looking inside the vape shop. We have a very special guest by the name of Ryan. He's a Crazy Clouds over on Instagram. He's an absolute lovely gem of a guy, and hopefully we're going to get a couple of bits and snippets of information about, vape shop life, the ins and outs and stuff like that. And then we're going to jump into a bit of live mixing and, just cut the fat. So we might as well roll the intro and just get going. Let's see you. Hello, guys. First off, are you local? Hope everyone liked the little banner tonight. It's our ode to the League of Gentlemen. But yeah, tonight we are talking Vape Shop Life. We are also going to do a little bit of a live mix, have a bit of a chit chat with you all because, we've missed you. It's been a week. And I'll probably dive out once we bring Ryan in. Oh, hang on. First comment. That's not good, man. Our Mank isn't feeling very well at all. Hopefully you feel very better soon, brother. But yeah, who likes the new banner and background? It's pretty, and it won't work on a three-way. But I hadn't planned for that.
Yeah,
one in the pink. But yeah, I hadn't even thought about that when we were bringing another guest in. So I'll probably just get rid of that banner for now, and I'll do that while you're on. And then I'm going to bring our little guest in, and we can talk about Vape Shop Life. Ryan, are you there?
I'm here.
There he is. We don't have any video, mate.
Oh, there you go. Is it going to come through? There you go.
There he is. Hello, you handsome devil. How are you doing?
Hello there. You called me Crazy Clouds, didn't you?
It's Cloud Hunters UK.
Yeah.
Oops, mate. I did have. It's even in the description, isn't it? But it's just a mad rush getting ready for these things. But yeah, how you doing, brother?
Yeah, really, really good. It's been a long day, but yeah, I'm ready to crack on.
Yeah, what are you vaping on?
Currently on Riot Squad's their Punks range. It's the Raspberry Grenades. It's basically like their new reinvention of the grenade range that they pulled.
All right, excellent. Yeah. I haven't tried that one yet, I don't think.
It's really, really good.
Chris, what are you banging?
I'm just on Loganberry and Honeybite Ritual still. I don't like change. Who likes change?
That's it. You're one of the rare people that can vape the same thing day in, day out and not get vaped on. I don't know what it is.
I couldn't do that.
I can't.
No, my palate just with obviously with me, like every time I end a tank or end a bottle, I'm going to something else because I'll either get sick of it.
See, I don't know. I like change. My palate adapts too quickly. If I'm vaping the same thing for more than 3 days, bye palate. But I think that's partly of like doing all the lab work and stuff as well, because I'm going through that many flavors and so on and so forth. But yeah, man, it's nice to have you in. Obviously, I'm getting the generic midstream phone calls going off. But yeah, I'm going to hop out in a minute and you guys can discuss, and I'll put the banner back on. You guys can discuss the ins and outs of a vape shop life, man. It's a side of the fence that we don't get to see because obviously we're online retailers.
Yeah.
We don't get to see the vape shop life. So I'm sure there's some very interesting stories to come. And thanks for coming on, man. If anyone has any questions for Ryan, feel very free. Just keep it going in the comments.
Have you got any Karen stories? That is the first question.
Karen stories. I had one.
Expand.
Right, I'm gonna hop out. Drop your questions in the comments, guys. I'll hop out and we can expand on this. And I'm gonna get ready for the mix. So I will see you all very soon.
Expand whenever you're ready, good sir.
Well, he's the whole camera's frozen. But yeah. But no, basically I had a situation where the gentleman 2 days prior came to the store, and he basically said to me, like, look, I have no idea when it comes to vaping. I have, want to start and quit smoking, get away from them, and enjoy this craze that everyone's going on about. And because he got recommended by his son to start vaping, I said to him about go for something quite easy, simple, but then actually almost the stage up, because obviously I started with a Nord. Obviously that was kind of what really kick-started sort of like me getting off the cigarettes, and that was my sort of my go-to, but we had none of them in store. So I said to him, we'll go for the drag S. I said, it's easy, you can plug it in and play sort of thing. There's not really much you can go wrong except learning the ups and downs buttons, what the older generation seem to sometimes struggle with. And obviously, and then after about an hour of dealing with this man, he turned around and was like, well, I don't want that. Like, I want something in the box. My son's got this big box with a big cloud and stuff like that. And I was like, but I'd recommend after, what, 3, 4, 5 months down the line, then start moving on to something with big clouds, if that's what you want. I said, dropping your nicotine, because this guy told me that he was on about 20 cigarettes a day. And then with this, he then went off with a Aspire, was it the Zeros?
Oh yeah.
And obviously I've already tried to recommend to him the thing that I thought would help him. He was very inconsistent of what he would say that he would want, but that's what he took. And after a while you have to kind of give up on the customer. You have to go, okay, fine, if that's what you want, you can put your own nail in your own coffin if that's what you want to do. I've given you my recommendation, but you've kind of thrown that to the winds. He comes back 2 days later, and obviously we had a policy on all of our devices at TJ's, basically said that long as in 90 days, if it was basically like non-personal damage, so you've not done damage to it yourself, you're not throwing it across the room, throwing it through your TV when you're playing COD, you've not sat on it, but it's actually just a break or a button's gone in and you can't get it, like can't even plier it back out,
like a manufacturer's warranty.
Yeah, but obviously then we added an extra warranty on top of that, because normally manufacturer's warranty do 30 days, but we also do a one where we can just deal with it all in store. We're not trying to claim back from the company, from the brands itself. It's like, well, actually we can try and support you on this here and now, and give you an in-store warranty. But he came in and he quite easy, you could see he had sat on the tank and it had completely bent it. The whole the actual the connection area actually was completely pulled out, was still attached to the tank, but also it's like fused to it. Like I tried to unscrew it and it was almost like the metal had almost melted together. So I think he's just sat on it, burnt it through, and it's just welded in the end. And obviously, so I then reported this to my higher up manager, because I've already said, like, look, I can clearly see that you've actually sat on this. Like, that sort of break does not happen normally. And I said, understand, yes, people, because his argument was, well, if I can sit on something and it will break, then that's the manufacturer's fault. And I said, well, no, because vapes aren't really meant to be sat on. They always say, don't put it in your back pocket. And then with this gentleman, he then persisted. He wanted a refund. And it was like I think we were selling it for, because he bought that and a few other bits. He wanted the full refund of the full ticket as well. So all the juices that he bought as well, it came to about 50 quid. And I was like, well, no, one, I'm only going to give you, if I can give you a refund, I'll give it on the device. So this carried on. So I brought into my higher ups and basically rang them up and like, well, look, what can I do for this man? Because I don't want to leave him, without a vape. He did buy it 2 days ago. I understand that, it's his fault. That this is what I believe has happened. And he's almost admitted that this is what he had done to me. So obviously, I said, well, can I maybe give him a cheaper device that I, recommended or something like that, something that he can walk away happy with and I won't have a problem with? Or do I just kind of say, look, I can't do anything for you. Sorry, mate, but I can give you a 10% discount or something like that. What I can do in store. As I was talking to on the phone, they were watching the cameras because there was cameras in all. We had 15 stores, and they had like almost looked like a scene from like CSI with all like the cameras up, all the security cameras for every single store up. And they brought my camera online to watch. Like I say, everyone was watching it, and a lot of people were pointing out on the phone to me that he had his fist clenched. He was walking up and down this whole store, basically kicking off and shouting at customers and saying that we were shit. And I was like, well, we're trying to deal with your situation here and now. Being shit would be telling you just to F off. And, we're trying to say that we're trying to rip him off and just trying to almost cause hassle with the customers that wasn't fair. Then we had the situation carried on. I came off the phone and said, look, right. My manager said no, but what I can do is 10% off another device. I can give you something that's going to work, that you can sit on, that won't break, that I know you'll be happy with. And we can leave it at that. And if that breaks somehow, then fine. John will come back and I'll refund you. But that's the best I can do. And then he decided to square up to me, as in stepped into my till area, because we had like 2 cabinets and a section we can walk through in the middle. And he actually decided to come onto my till area and square up to me. Well, I told him basically, as polite as you can be, can you please step back? Because if you come any closer, I will call the police. As we have to stick by, rules, as much as this guy was pretty much pissing me off. I said, there's no need for any violence when I'm trying to sort an issue for you, to make you, to help you out. My manager's then rung up the phone and basically said, look, we already called the police. We've already recorded the CCTV, and it's been sent over. And we want you to tell him that, do you know what, that if he carries on, when the police comes here, then obviously there will be more issues. Or he can walk away now and leave it at that and come back when he's called down. I then said to my manager, well, I said to him, actually, with that sort of attitude, with that sort of behavior in the store, I didn't want them sort of those customers anymore, because a lot of the customers that we had in were, your 50s, your 60s onwards. Like, we had quite an old sort of customer base, and then a few young ones from the students sort of things. And I said, that's not fair on them. So I actually had to end up barring the gentleman, gave him his refund, but then also we put him on our barred board in the end. And then the police came up as well. We showed them CCTV and actually nicked him down at the bus station 2 hours later.
I can't believe people are like that when it's not going to motivate you, though, is it? If someone's going to threaten you, I mean, you are not going to want to go out of your way to help someone if they're going to threaten you.
Well, I mean, that's the unfortunate thing. I mean, a lot of I think they find as well, because where you're not a chain store, like you're not a Tesco's and stuff like that. We have a massive security team behind that store, because you are, as they see, an individual in a store. And obviously where I manage that store, normally there'll be times where, I'd have him at front and I'd be at back. So I'd have one of my colleagues down the front. and I'd be, at the back sorting out whatever. And normally there is that sort of support. I mean, that day I had absolutely no one, except kind of my higher ups that were, so watching over the CCTV. But it does baffle me how they seem to think that, a violence will solve my issue and will get me my money. In the end, yes, he got what he wanted. He got his money, but he would never be allowed to now step foot inside that store. And because we were quite close to a lot of the other stores around the area, we actually alerted them to him, and they automatically put a bar on him as well.
So that just ruined his chances of getting any advice or recommendations.
Yeah, because obviously we thought, well, because I said, like, I'd known a store around the corner that was vape called Vape Royale. I was really close with them. I went after work because they always finished half an hour after me. So obviously I went and explained to them what happened. He said, well, yeah, we got the report through. And he said, for you to actually want to bar something, he said, because I'm normally in the store, I was always quite, I could be relaxed under a very stressed situation. Like someone could square up to me, I'd still be like, okay, well, look, calm the hell down. Let's talk about this. Let's try and sort this. I never want a result to being like, you never can come in these stores again. And, for me to bring that up, they actually went, okay, well, do you know what? No, we're going to bar him as well, because there's no point. Because if he's going to be like that in one store, if he comes to another store, and especially after a recommendation of another device that would have been more, it could have been. So, I mean, just amount of times I've dropped my drag, for example, and it's not broken. The pods on this are actually really, really solid. And those sort of, when you get those sort of recommendations from a vape assistant or vape manager, it doesn't matter. If you don't take that advice and you go for something that is almost in, because he went for something that was in the bargain section that we were trying to clear. And when I tried to tell him that, look, it's not really good, this is not the sort of hit you want. I was almost trying to give him the all-round experience, because at that time, I mean, I'm not so sure on, because I haven't tried out a lot of the pod systems now. Like obviously I want to try the Drag Max and stuff like that. But at the time it was, it's the shit hot product on the market. It was what was flying out the door like no tomorrow, the Drag X and Drag S.
There still are heavy contenders for the pod world, let's be honest.
Yeah. And that's the thing is, I think as we were discussing actually the other night over our chat, is that vaping over the last 5 years has changed absolutely dramatically. It went from these little silly pen things that used to be able to pick up in corner shops, and now you go into a vape store and there's you've got cloud beasts, you've got things that are great for flavor, you've got everyday runners that are like perfect kind of on the go, like the little Argus pod systems, the Nord, for example, as well. Are great little things that kind of everybody. You don't have to be a particularly a vapor to enjoy them sort of things. Like if you just want to quit smoking, it's a great little device for that. And I've seen, then especially this year, I found that the pod mod systems as what they were trying to market, the drag and the drag. I think it was the Drag Max was marketed as a pod mod. Because it has that adaptability to become, have a tank on top. And I think a few of the few ones are actually, the new ones have now have got the adapters to use like RDAs.
What do you think of the pod mods having that sort of adapter to do 5 for a 510 for like an RDA or an RTA?
For me, because I went through the whole craze about 2 years ago, where I was buying Mechs after Mechs because I loved them. I went from things from AVs to purges. I had pure wattages, like so I had the Blood Splatter Night from the German brand. And I was always testing, trying to find what is the best sort of mech out there without trying to be this, avid Life fan or a purge fan. Like I wanted just to find the thing that was going to be, I'd sit there and go, wow, and as well as to recommend to the stores that I knew, because see where I was doing my influencing, I was in a network of stores I used to talk to in my local area, where I used to recommend stuff like Mechs, because a lot of stores down here or in the south didn't have Mechs that often. Like you would have a few of your I'm trying to get the brand's name now, like Limitless, stuff like that. and almost quite not great mechs. Like they were kind of very plain. I wanted something with a bit more oomph, a bit more pretty. So I said, like, I always just try and recommend to people. I even said to them, don't go for stuff like AVs or purges, because they had a recommendation of where you had to be making a certain amount in that store every month. So you might have to make, a $5,000 pull in every month. So then, it was almost stupid, because obviously then they'd have to buy a batch of, 50 or 25 to 50 of those AVs to sell them in their store. And they'd have to do that every month as an agreement. And it became very costly for stores. So I was trying to look for, other mechs, like smaller companies, to recommend, So, but when I was going through that sort of stage, great, that was everything I wanted. But now, obviously, with pod systems, I don't think they should have an adaptability, because that's what they're not. That's not what they're made for. If I want a mech, if I want an RDA, I'll go for a mech. If I wanted a pod system, I will go for a pod system. I don't. I know the like Vupu, Vaporesso, Smok, all trying to create this thing that is almost the perfect device that can use everything. But in my eyes, that actually makes it harder for, a lot of the other people that go, actually, well, I want to stick to the Nord series, because there's some people out there that just like going through the Nords almost. And for them to walk into a shop and someone go, yeah, this does absolutely everything. That's sometimes what the customer doesn't want.
Too much.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know. It's like, if you walk into a cake shop and you say, yeah, I want walk into a cake shop and say, I want chocolate, I want raspberry and jam, and I want it to be a vanilla sponge. You literally stick to what you love. You go for what you want. Someone was saying with kind of anything really. I think sometimes the simple idea is sticking to the idea, but just making that better. Like, from, I said, over the years, moving from a Nord to a drag. It's just an upgraded, like, much better pod system, and that's, I think, how they should stick. They should go, actually, how can I improve this? Not how can I make this do everything?
I've got to agree. I've got to ask as well about the Mechs.
Yeah.
Don't you think that, like, these large companies should actually be looking out for smaller shops rather than going, right, you've got to get a set amount like this every single month? Because that's just counterintuitive. Surely they should be thinking, I want my products in your store.
Yeah. Well, it's like with I said, with TJs, we were, we were one of the biggest companies in the southeast. There was also, but because we had 15 like stores, we only said we stuck with sorry, it wasn't Limitless, sorry, it was Endless Mods, and we only stuck with them because they didn't have that rule of that you had to be earning this much. I mean, we made that anyway, pretty much in every store. We done well as a company, but with the idea of having to stock something like, almost paying $1,000 worth out of the financial budget for that company was not liable, because Mechs didn't sell. Like, Mechs will sell, every couple of months if you're lucky, and yes, it was big money. You'd be paying sometimes £200-300 for a Mech, but with, like, the companies like Apex, who I really have a real fond sort of touch for, because they make absolutely, they make cracking Mechs. Like, my customized Mech is an Apex mod. It's made in the UK. They have no sort of, like, limits on what they want to do. So if you wanted to go and buy a batch off them, and say, like, I want to sell this in my store, they wouldn't go against that. And they were always kind of liable to speak to. Like, I spoke to Lee, the owner of the company of Apex, multiple times, on saying to him that, I'd like to try and talk to this store or this store about stocking you, just because I think that they would do well. I said, but I think with AV and Purge, they've now got to the point where they're at the top of sort of the hemisphere, like, where everyone knows them. You're either a massive Purge fan or you're an AV fan, realistically, if you're a Mech head. And there's always going to be that argument, what's better? It's the same as Xbox and PS4, really. But because they want to be that exclusive, you kind of sit there and go, well, actually, but are you going to make as much unless you were in multiple stores?
Like Mechs, I'd rather have a hog.
Okay.
I mean, between a tube or a hog
Yeah.
wins every time to me. I mean, how can you beat a Para Series mod?
Yeah, see, I mean, I've always said as well, like with stuff like even like the squonkers and stuff like that. With the Mech, what I always found that kind of brought me more to that was because I never liked anything sort of like too big and clumpy. Like it had to kind of fit in my hand easy, or be able to put it in my pocket with no issue. I never liked these big box mods. I had one. I never used another one again. Just because it's just too big and clumpy, were not easy to carry around. With a Mech, I found that because of stuff like the engravements, attention to detail that a lot of the big companies, you pay big bucks for, but you do get some really lovely detailing, especially on Purge. I found that was more attractive because people would be like, you put that on a table, and people go, oh my God, what is that? As in a box, people might go, yeah, that's pretty, that's nice. But there's something more about a Mech. It's like, it's almost like having a Rolex on in front of your friends.
I don't know what the reason I like hogs is. I lose my vape. I mean, it's quite little anyway. It's a Dogpo topside carbon.
Oh yeah,
but it's little. How can you miss a hog? It's like the size of a brick.
yeah.
Fantastic. The only thing I want from my next regulated is just plug it into the smartphone and just, where are you? And just get that screen back of I'm here. That's the only thing that vapes are missing so far.
I think with Smock, I really would not be shocked if we, found out some of that was in the works. Because Smock have always come up with something that's just completely crazy. We had ones that used to play music. Do you remember the little MP3 one?
I just think it's where we need to go is for people who have. I mean, I only do 42 and a half hours at the moment with one job, and I'm self-employed with the others. I
Yeah.
forget where I put things. It's just like, where is it? It's helped me so much. Just being able to have my mod just screaming. I
Yeah.
don't know, just custom tone of just, I'm here. Oh, the delight. The utter delight.
Oh
Even
God.
just the sound of Bubba revving the chainsaw. Perfect.
Oh God. Could you imagine
What we need.
imagine if you lose that though, and you've left you've don't know on the walk back home or something, or when you went out of town and you've dropped it somewhere in the middle of the night, people are walking past, all I hear is this, I'm over here. I could just
Yeah.
imagine like people absolutely freaking, being like there's a child stuck down the well or something, it's been dragged in there.
Oh, that makes it even better. That's a greater selling point.
Just get it, just go, Charlie.
Oh,
Georgie,
oh,
not Charlie, Georgie.
they all float down here, Georgie.
Just don't drop it down the sewer, please.
Oh,
Oh.
just to have that Jaws line. Just, we need a bigger neck. Just change it slightly, just for authentication, and you can't infringe on copyright too much. We need a bigger mod.
Also, quickly going back to the store idea. With a lot of this, because I've worked in in two different companies in a store. Obviously, I worked with TJ's and Vape Chaos, both in the southeast, both southeast based companies. But with one thing I do find with them as well is that I used to recommend to the Vape Chaos about brands that they needed to bring in, because I found with Vape Chaos they had a lot of very generic brands. I mean, they completely overstocked, for example, with IVG. It was just they had every single flavor of IVG, but then they would only have like an odd few of other brands, and it was kind of strange because IVG never sold. And with TJ's, what I liked was one was I was put in as manager instead of just being an assistant. But I was able to kind of prove my point. Like, so I could turn to them and be like, well, look, recommend this brand. What I recommended Riot, because I realized that a lot of the customer flavor base of what people were liking was real fruity mixes, but was something a little bit different. And obviously, when Riot brought out their black edition stuff, so they had the rich black grape, the ultra peach tea, signature orange, and the pure frozen acai. That sold. I thought, well, this would be perfect because I had real sort of like menthol heads, but then I also had, people that like their full-on flavors, but wanted something different. Like, for example, with the rich black grape, it was a sort of real sort of full-on hard-hitting grape flavor, almost like nearly a wine, I'd say, but then would have a mint aftertaste to it. And that was quite different. That was nice. It was, a real sort of twist to the tongue. It also kind of kept the flavor fresh, because obviously where that change was so great between the two flavor bases. But then, so obviously I recommended that to my boss. It took a little while. Like, I spoke to him for about a month over it, saying like, look, these are the reviews we're getting on them. I actually did a poll inside the store, what I thought I was going to get fired for, to get people to like tick off what they would most likely like to buy out of these flavors, and rate how many like total customers would be buying. Obviously, then what I even did was actually get half that, and basically said, like, let's say half of them are just doing it because I've asked them to do a questionnaire and they've gone, oh, I better tick something. I thought if even half that, let's say, so half those people are being generic about and genuine about what they're voting for, the numbers were still too great. We were still looking at easily like 50 more sales a day, and so obviously then I turned around to my boss and said, look, bring in one batch. I said, it doesn't have to be much, just do £100 worth or £200 worth. Just give me like 3 bottles of each flavor, and if I sell them in a week, then maybe we look to restock them. We actually got in a whole stock of 400, and that was Nick salts and short fills, and we sold them in 2 days, every single one. And with those with some stores, you will find that you'll walk in and the sales assistant won't like that company or might not like the bosses. But one thing I always found was that when you're in an environment, especially like with what I was like in TJ's, it was much, much nicer. Like, I felt I was more relaxed. Like, I was calm. I could talk to the customers, really give them an idea of what, and find out what they wanted, and just find that product that they wanted for them, the perfect thing, so they could walk away and generally be happy, instead of feeling like forced into a purchase.
And since you've worked in a store, what cotton did you prefer? What was the cotton of choice? Because this separates everyone. Don't say bacon. Don't say bacon.
No, I don't actually. I'm not. I can't remember. I'm trying to remember the bloody name of it because I need to go and get some more of it. It was in a gold tin with white label. What is it? Swab. Is it Swab?
Swag.
Swag. That's it. Swag.
That's my favourite too.
Because I find it's a lot more fluffier. Actually, I find it holds the juice in a lot better than bacon.
You've got to try the Swag Supreme if you haven't, because my God, if you're near a desk right now, it'll go about 6 inches up if you try Swag Supreme. Supreme is just honestly, Swag Supreme, my daily. Stefan, I know how you feel, but everyone's different.
Swag's good, man. Swag's good.
All right, boys. Can I quickly jump off and come back into my spring?
You come in. No bother at all. I'll take you off and then come back in.
All right, thank you.
Bye. Hello, everyone.
Yes, I have. I have tried that Dr. Coil cotton because it comes with Ohm Chaser coils, which Ohm Chasers are life. Let's be honest.
So then, children, what did we learn? What have we learned in the last 20 minutes while I've been away? Then he's back. So, obviously, I wasn't listening in much, because I've been getting stuff ready and getting the flavours and that ready for tonight. Obviously, we're doing a donut. We've got people chomping for donuts, so we're going to do our own donut tonight. But what did I miss? What have I missed?
Just talking about a previous customer that I had to ban because he actually decided to step into my till area because we had like two separate, like the 100ml sort of section and a 50ml section in front of us. And steps have actually decided to try and square up to me. And my higher end bosses were actually at the headquarters in Sittingbourne. It was a good hour away. They had like a 15, almost like a CSI, like, you know, the old FBI movies where you see all these massive TV screens with like, you've got like 15 little screens all connected together. And basically, normally they used to hold onto the security itself, and they saw that he was being aggressive on that, and had his fish clenched and stuff like that, and you know, it was a pretty difficult situation with that, but so we had to deal with that. And then we started talking about PodSystem.
PodSystems.
I'm so surprised with how you held up with that person, because I would have just been like, "Can you hit me?" It just it's like it just turns me on. I love it when they struggle. Come on, baby.
But this is why I like being online. I just couldn't have, you know, that kind of behaviour and be tolerant of it. But yeah, mentioning PodSystems, did anyone see Rip's latest PodSystem review or not?
No.
Shit trippers. No.
No, he was on about doing a click track. So I'm going to do a parody video, just me doing a click track and vaping. If you go back and watch it.
Are you going to get your fists out and like just put them into some PVA and some like cornflakes? For
cornflakes, all the dry knuckles going on, all that malarkey, yes. Massive sellout. But yeah, it wasn't a bad review, actually. He was quite honest in it and spoke about like the coil life and having to prime them and stuff like that, which is like unlikely. So I thought it was pretty decent of him, to be fair. It wasn't a bad review, although a little bit overacted.
You've got to have a bag of flour in the background as well when you do it.
Just cough through me knuckles.
Yeah.
And spread thing out. All the while clicking.
Here's a flower.
Yeah. It'll be interesting. I might do it.
Well, is this another like review sort of streamer?
Yeah, Rip Tripley is probably the oldest, biggest reviewer, but he turned a little bit biased for the monies, to be fair. He's chasing the pennies. He gave up vaping and he does all these reviews in his car now. So yeah, I think he got kicked out of the house and he's been forced to do all his reviews on the back of his car. I think he's got a blue screen on the back of his car now that imitates a kitchen. But yeah, his last review wasn't too bad. It's just he talks about random things because he's very like trying to be spiritual, I suppose. And it was on about like the calming influence, and there is something called click tracks that people with anxiety use, and it's just like it's that rhythm, and it kind of calms you down. So he's on about doing a click track. I think it probably was like pictures of the sea, just him clicking and vaping, the sounds of vaping and the clicking, and yeah, he's going to cure the world.
I mean,
cure the fucking world.
I can't knock, him trying to do something for people with anxiety or anything like that.
Oh, no.
Being a vape channel, it's a separate thing, for God's sake.
Yeah. Hello, Big D. How you doing, mate? What's he saying?
Saying about the idea of being paid.
Oh, he gets paid thousands, clearly.
Well,
he gets too much money.
With a lot of the influencers as well, what I found online was because where we had like networks, there's a lot of like vapors used to have a section of people. They'd have a team that were really completely open about and say that they had this team behind them, and you had a few that were like the cloud legends and stuff like that that would almost help each other, boost each other up, and as well as also help bring them into companies, because a company would normally, like a lot of smock that I found as well, smock were actually paying reviewers and influencers to give completely positive reviews.
Oh, that's rip.
Yeah, they're one of the biggest companies. This is what I understand. But yes, they're one of the biggest companies, but it's like, instead of, because if you open up pretty much what the last 2 years of box mods made by Smock, they are almost identical electronics inside. The motherboards are almost identical as well.
But the thing is, they're not improving then. And because they don't want any negative reviews, they're not going to get better, and they'll be pushed behind. They'll be behind the times.
Well, a lot of
really
people,
depressing.
In the same light, a lot of people will knock smoke, but they're probably the most responsible company out there for getting people off the cigarettes, and they're in every store, and you can't knock them for that. They've contributed to quitters like no other company out there, so you can't knock them too much. But it does get a bit pissy when mods are only lasting 3 or 4 months. Although some are pretty
good. If you're
lucky.
Yeah.
It's like with a lot of the smocks, though, I find they're now in a similar situation to what VP were after they released the original drag, because they almost died off. Like, people had the big fight for the drag. It was a great little kit. It was a king of its time almost. But then when they started to bring out all their other stuff, and they've still done it as well. I know lately they've recreated one and literally just added the PMP tank on top. It was a bit of a rip off, if you ask me. But then they brought out the Drag X and the Drag S, and it kind of really skyrocketed them again.
Drags are good, man. The Drag X's are amazing.
Oh yeah.
I'll stand by though. If someone gives you praise, great. If someone gives you something negative and says, I don't like something for this reason, they're actually helping you, and they're doing 10 to 20 times the amount of work than someone saying, yeah, you've done something good here. And goodbye, Mr. Gareth.
I was trying to do a hard there, Gareth. Love you, mate. Stay safe. But yeah.
If someone can give you a reason for why a product isn't perfect or how it can be improved, they're helping you massively. They're helping you more than any other company can, or anyone else who's being paid from you.
That's the
because
same.
There's no loyalty.
I think Big D says right there. I think, hang on, we'll highlight it. I think if you're being paid, it should be a presentation, not a fair. It should be a presentation rather than a review.
Yep.
Apparently, Vaporesso tried it with him over Christmas.
Yeah, see, I used to have Vaporesso, and I got to the point where I've had enough of them, because what I've always done with any of the reviews that I've done, when I get a device or receive a device, the first thing I do is a review, but I do an honest review. If it's crap as well, same as juices. If a new brand comes and steps up to me and says, "Look, I really want you to work with me," I would try their juices, and most of the time, if it's not great, I would turn to them and say, "Look, this is what's wrong with it," or it's too bland or too boring. And I think this is what could help. And normally I offer them to go, well, actually, do you want the juices back? Well, I'll send them back over to you on return postage, because then I'm not going to use them. But with Vaporesso, I said to them, because I was working with them for 2 months, and they kept sending me the VM18 stick. You heard of that one?
Mm-hmm.
It's basically like just a little pen device. But I was like, well, I don't use 3 milligrams, 50 juices. Like I'm a Nick salts guy. I enjoy my Nick salts and I enjoy my 70/30s. But when it came to stuff like sticks, I said to him, I can't review that stuff because that's not me. And I said to him, like, the battery life as well. I mean, it should last about 4 hours if you're lucky.
Yeah.
What's the point?
Yeah.
What do you think of the line? Which is this to Ryan? Yeah, Ryan. What do you think of the Live Lounge Liquids? Honest breakdown.
Oh, generally the cola is one of the best colas I've actually ever tried. Really, it is, yeah. And I've tried stuff like your IPGs and stuff like that, and gone through quite a few fair of them. And I find the flavors pretty full on, nice and sweet. Yeah, but at the same time, it's not overpowering. It's not to the point where you're like, actually, this is kind of making me feel sick. It doesn't give you that sort of like throaty feeling after. And I find a lot of colas generally like really give you that that sicky feeling after. They just kind of try to over soda it almost.
Or when you vape it and you get that sort of like that coating on your teeth, which is just horrendous. It's just like, we've made a really bad mix. How can we hide it? Sweetener, lots of it.
Yeah. Graham says they're rubbish because they're a 60/40. We are doing the transition into a 70/30, Graham, so you will be very happy to hear that, and you will be able to vape it.
Still waiting for that next salt.
Yeah, so some people are intolerant, so Graham is one of those unlucky buggers. Stefan says blueberry custard tart. I don't think you've tried that one, have you, Ryan?
No, I haven't yet. No, I've tried the coffee.
What did you think? Honest opinions.
Yeah, coffee. Boutiques.
Coffee is fucking amazing, and I'm really like, I love coffee. Like, you know, give me a cup of coffee every day. I would have 15 a day with these. But when I've tried to vape coffee before, it's never kind of hit the mark. But I really like as well that you added like the honey to it as well.
Yeah, they're usually quite cardboardy, aren't they? You get that off note of a cardboard, or it's just so synthetic that it doesn't taste anything like coffee anymore.
And then also, what I really hate as well is that a lot of dessert flavors, it's why I stay away from them normally, is that the aftertaste you get is that real sort of like that sort of real horrible like dry pastry in the back of your mouth sort of taste.
Yeah,
and you can't get rid of it.
Yeah.
And that's why I absolutely hate normally. But no, that generally is one of my favorites.
Danny says Vape and Mang said they're good. I mean, if you want some sent in out, just drop us a message. I'll send you some out. You can have a little sample of those buggers. Big day. Yeah, but yeah, thanks for that feedback, mate. Obviously, I haven't tried the other flavors. We have True Defiance, which is a strawberry. Oh, bloody hell, strawberry meringue tart, and that's pretty fire. And we have a blueberry custard tart as well.
Yeah, meringues are a bit to get it right as well, so that'd be interesting too.
But we're a bit like tarty, desserty heavy at the moment, so we are going to be breaking it up a bit. I know we're going to do a donut right now, but we are going to get some basically fruit on the go as well. More comments. Yeah, I've heard good things about those as well. Definitely worth trying. I'll have to give them a bash, mate.
Anything with fucking out with the Batman, I'll be honest. The man's a hero. I love the guy. He's ripped to shit as well, so I don't want to say a bad word in case he finds out where I live and kills me.
What I'm going to do now, guys, obviously we can keep talking about these things, but I'm going to open up our little flavour creation tab, which is ELR, and we're going to start crafting this donut. I am conscious of the time. You know, it's Saturday. We all have lives, and we want to get back to those. But we want to make a good flavour tonight, so we're going to hit it off with a nice donut. Different. Try and make a different flavour. We're not going to go strawberry jam because that's been done to death.
Have you seen Stefan's comment?
I have, mate.
Still waiting.
He's still waiting. It's coming. It's coming. So I'm going to do a bit of screen share now and see if we can get this on the go. And see how it looks when we click it back. Yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect. So, yeah, I want to make a nice donut.
I'm on top. This looks beautiful.
Hang on. Screw you. Sorry, mate.
I get to be the middle one.
The power. So basically, I've already kind of thought this one through, and it's going to be banoff pea donut. So what am I making tonight?
Can you take the pea off, and it's going to be easier?
No, because I want to make it different. You know, we all love banoffee. I want to make a banoffee with a hint of peanut donut and make it very creamy and rich and decadent.
What about pistachio?
Pistachio we could do, but that won't sound good, will it? This is a really nice peanut flavour that I've wanted to try for a long time. And it's in a Whereas naked peanuts. It's really quite nice. It smells amazing.
Stefan's comment.
It smells good.
The jam in the sandwich.
Well.
Dear diary, jackpot.
What I didn't do was wash out a pot. So
have you got Ken syringes tonight? Have you got the Kens out?
I do have a couple of just normal style syringes. I don't have the Ken syringes. I've binned them. They were starting to fade a little bit, so I'm gonna have to get onto those guys and get some more sent out.
You're gonna have to just take a full presentation of when they arrive. Just live lounge, posted. Ken syringes have arrived. Dear diary, jackpot.
You know, it's about 2 weeks ago we made a Loops cereal liquid. That's what I'm vaping on today, and it's really, really good. So if anyone wants to try that recipe, it's over on ELR, and it's really, really quite nice.
Are you gonna still keep the caramel for the banoffee, by the way?
Yeah, it is going to have the caramel in there. It's going to have some caramel in there, and we're going to be using Wonder Flavors banana puree, which is the only decent, legit kind of tasting banana.
What about
one of the good banana flavors I've ever tried was you remember the old banana foam sweets?
Yeah.
Actually, Chief of Vapes make a pretty decent banana foam ones.
Yeah, if that's what you're planning, most of the banana flavors are like the banana foam sweets.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, this is a little bit, but it's a bit more. It's like a pulped banana rather than a banana foamy sweet.
Oh yeah.
Are you gonna go sneaky like Pearl Harbor and add a bit of honey in there as well?
No.
Go on, go sneaky. Sneaky
Not
like
tonight,
Pearl Harbor.
Not tonight, Devil.
I think we should go with something like a bit of maple.
That would be quite nice. That actually would be quite nice. Right, so what I want to do...
I'm accepted.
I've now realised why I'm at the bottom.
Right, so we're going to start this off.
The North-South divide, it's a real thing, mate. Sorry.
What I'm going to use
is...
Technically, I should be at the bottom because you're further north than me now.
Now, yeah. Where are you now?
I reside in York.
Oh. There's a posh side of the north.
Is it?
This is where I need a...
I've been to York a few times. It's much posher than the south, put it that way.
Back in 2 seconds.
Well, we don't like to blow our own horn, let's be honest.
But you
we have fine foods.
Oh.
I've got to say, look, London and the South have some amazing burger bars. I will not take away from that ever. Burger bars in London are amazing.
One of the first things I ever got, because my friend lives in Doughnut, and he actually introduced me to Parmos. And oh my God, like literally, I moved up here in September, and I probably had about 5 Parmos. And I can't get enough of them. Like, they're so unhealthy, but I just don't care.
Welcome to the North.
I already said to my missus, I said, wait until next year, I'll be a fat bastard.
I'm what, 9 stone, 2 pounds, 5'10". It's just like, I can't put on weight. It doesn't always hit you.
See, I couldn't, and then I've started to come to the North. I turned to my missus the other day and I went, I genuinely sound like a woman. I went, am I starting to look fat now?
No, you look healthy.
Yeah, I mean, you should have seen me before. I was pretty much a skeleton.
And he's back.
Oh, how was your pizza yesterday, by the way, Peter? You didn't let us know.
It was stunning. I fell asleep with it on us. It was really nice. But yeah, I forgot the most important.
Team chat where he was sending pictures of his pizza in it. He had a few beers. Bless him.
Oh, it's not very often I get a drink, so I really enjoyed myself. Didn't go mental, of course. Right. So I'm going to use the glazed donut.
And yes, Stefan, I know I'm tiny, but I've got a really fast metabolism. I can eat most people like competitively. I can out-eat everyone, but I don't put on a pound. Glorious.
We have to test that.
Oh, as soon as lockdown and COVID's all over, I'll happily go to any place and I'll outcompete most people. Up until when I was 13, I was 13 and a half stone. I was like 4 foot something, and then all of a sudden puberty hit me. It's just like instantaneously slim. It's like, okay, I'll deal with this. That's cool. From a 36 waist to a 28, I'll take that. I'll take it.
Right. So when you're constructing a flavour, you want to break it down into its key kind of principles. So you're looking at, if you're doing a donut, you want it to taste like donut. You don't want it to be all a jam with a hint of, yeast. So yeah, donut is the star of the show on this one, and we have put 4% Capella glazed donut in there, and then we're going to go for a bit of golden butter just to make it a little bit more buttery.
And look, Stefan's half an inch taller than me, just half an inch. Giggity.
We're gonna go.
Right, I'll be back in a moment, gentlemen. I am off to go get another beer.
Enjoy, mate.
32-inch waist, holy shit!
Right,
About
so
that as well, to be honest.
I'm just jealous. I'm what? I can fit in UK 8 women's trousers with ease. You're just like 32-inch waist. I'm jealous. I'll be back in a moment.
No worries.
so now I'm gonna put a little bit of V2 vanilla custard in there, and I'm gonna take it low. I want to take it low, and this is just basically just to get that donutty taste. And then we'll put a little bit of marshmallow in to fluff it out a bit. So I'm just going to go 1%. Why is it giving us those options? Just 1%. I've been getting told off on ALR, and someone gives a bad review because I didn't put the flavour name in, and apparently this guy's synonymous. So if you're on ALR, check out my flavour, click on the guy that's done in a comment, and if you chase him back, he's an absolute fucking tyrant for giving people shit reviews for not giving, a flavour make. So basically, I use UK flavours, and it wasn't on there. This one flavour wasn't on there, so he gave us a 1-star rating. So he's a bit of a dick.
You do get them, unfortunately. So they used to get. Obviously, we didn't actually get them a lot on comments in the influencer side of things. So I found that sometimes you get people that would just cause havoc just by trying to PM you, or will just try to badmouth you and almost spread it round. I had one actually where
better than you.
Yeah, it's not needed. It's a stupid little things as well.
See what I'm gonna do. I've done the glazed donut. I've done those flavors. What else did I bring in? A little bit of, tiny bit of Bavarian in here. As I want to go 0.8. 0.8%.
What you're trying to create here, is it like a banoffee pie?
Yeah, so basically, see those flavors: the glazed donut, golden butter, vanilla custard, V2, and with Bavarian cream. That is pretty much giving me a basic donut. If I was in the lab, I'd go a lot more in depth with that, and I'd be adding a lot more to give it like a bready taste. But because it's going to be quite an involved flavor with the filling, I've just upped the percentage. You can overdo it. You really can overdo it and overcomplicate it, where all you need to do is go from A to B. Like,
well, sometimes you can't do that, especially when they try to create. They have like two major flavors. So like they tried and put almost like a raspberry with almost like a toffee, and almost they play too much against each other, where they're almost quite subtle but sweet flavors.
Yeah.
If you made the raspberry really tart and the toffee really sweet, that'd work quite well as like a collision.
Yeah. I find sometimes as well you do get those where they just kind of collide against each other, they just merge into this, well, almost one taste instead of two separate like hits.
Inserts the Highlander gif here. There can only be one. And this is just for our Peter. If you can hear it. Oh, I'm having a beer.
Yeah. I've got one here.
I'm on what is it? Oh Christ! Brew York's Tiger King IPA. It's 10.5%. It's glorious.
Jesus, yeah. This is steam brew, and this was a little special, and it's really quite nice. So I'm going to put a little bit of whipped cream by Flavor in there. I'll probably go 0.8 again. So.
Well, once lockdown's all over, Peter, I've still got a few Christmas presents for you, so I'll deliver them.
Oh, heck. You're really spoiling us, sir.
How's the blankie, by the way? Have you used it much?
Yeah, it's getting some hammer, mate. Not always me, either.
That's the best way. You know it's a good present when other people are stealing it.
Yeah. So we've gone 0.4 on that, and basically that is our donut with a little bit of creams. You know, it's not heavily punchy on the creams, but I don't want it to be. I'm going to put a little bit of meringue in there, a little bit. Meringue.
So when's the boutiques coffee with the Live Lounge donut coming, Peter?
That's a week away. It's a week away, that one, mate.
It was a cunning plan that someone had there. Whoever it was, thank you.
Well done. Yeah. So yeah, I want to keep it low on that as well. So I'm going to 0.3.
I'm trying to think of actually. It was a company. It's an American one. Have you tried the one?
No, but it's Highlander related, so it sounds fantastic.
Well, basically,
it's got my vote.
Well, the one is a company off. I'll send it to you later because I can't remember the bloody company for the life of me. It's basically an American-based brand. They sent a few of me and the team that I was working with for this brand. Sent us out the one basic section that they had, and it's basically a spin off their brand. They had like stuff like strawberry milkshake, donut dipped in strawberry milkshake, and it was fucking sublime, absolutely amazing. And it was really nice because you, on the first sort of, as you were drawing in, you had that sort of nice sort of crisp donut with almost like a jam inside it, and then as you sort of exhaled, you had a real sort of strawberry milkshake. It was absolutely amazing.
And bye, Mr. Mank. You take care.
So I've just shot some banana puree in there, and I'm going to add a little bit of caramel, and we're just building this flavour up, layer by layer.
Can you imagine though, like a Biscoff donut with like the cream inside and like that vanilla sort of, almost like a vanilla sort of shaker that you have on the donuts over it. And
you do like
coffee.
to set a challenge. You do like to set a challenge.
You had me at Biscoff, to be honest.
Everything's like overcomplicated, then I've got to make it, and it's usually amazing. But it's so daunting. It's so daunting. So,
it's more fun that way.
I hate you so much, but we've made some beauties just because of your little imagination. We have.
Biscoff donut with coffee, I can see it becoming a real trendsetter.
Then I want to add this peanut. Where are we running now?
So the Biscoff donut though could come out well, you might actually try it and then actually go, it's not a donut. It might become more like a cheesecake, and that would still be great.
Don't say the C word.
We've got loads of cheesecake flavors ready to rock. I need to get some. More.
Cheesecake makes me moist. I love a good cheesecake.
How high do we want to go? Do we want it really peanutty with that banana caramel?
No.
Keep it quite low. It isn't in where
you want it proper sneaky. It's there, but you don't always know.
I'm going to go for 0.5% because that should still be quite punchy in that. Ooh, I need a little syringe. So
Peter like boutiques flavour 2. I've nearly finished it. Any more? Please, sir, more.
Right, I'm going to add in 0.25%. Oh, it smells. It's just peanuts, man. It's so nice. It's peanut butter. It's right out of the jar, peanut butter.
My head was thinking for some strange reason Nutella, which I hate.
I love Nutella. How can you hate it?
Peanuts and chocolate just shouldn't ever mix, in my opinion.
In my opinion, they should always mix.
And then I'm going to do a little sneaky. Doughnut.
Very impressed as well, Peter. There was no incognito mode straight off the bat. I forgot to congratulate you.
What was that, Chris? Mate?
Nothing.
You've been mean.
I love you.
You've been so mean. I can tell. Right.
I'm not. What mod is it that you're using then,
Me?
Ryan?
Currently I'm on the Drag S. My Drag X is on charge. So I literally alternate between the two. My Mech, I'm waiting to get new cotton for, or I have that out today. I'm waiting to get cotton just so that I can literally go and start vaping the hell out of that coffee.
When you do different wattages with that coffee, you should notice different flavors as well. So if you're on a Mech, you want to do different styles of builds, and it'll bring out the different flavors because that is a really complicated coffee flavor. To be fair.
Yeah.
I think, was it over 4 months of just developing it, Peter?
It was over 4 months. Many hours of toil getting that coffee. I mean, even the honeys, you know, there aren't very many honey like concentrates out there that are decent. So we had to strip that one right back and blend it with flavors that you wouldn't even imagine would work. And we just stripped it down to its basics and worked solidly for about a month on the honey. And it was about 2 months on the coffee notes, and then it was a full month on the creams before collaborating that. And, you know, it worked, and it worked really well.
Straight at the bowl, like, whenever I get a flavour, one of the first things I do is always like a smell test and drip test. Because obviously, before I kind of like soak my coil with something, I don't want it to be, you know, oh shit, I've now got a whole tank full of crap. Or, you know, I don't, because obviously you don't know, do you? You know, when you first have a brand like this, sometimes you have to have that open mind to go, actually, this could be really bad or really good. But actually, straight off the literally popped it open, had a smell, and I was like, whoa, okay, actually, that's kind of like hard hitting. It's like almost a real sort of like you go for a restaurant, you have a proper coffee, like not this crap you get out of a jar or instant coffee crap, you know, but when it's proper like grounded beans, and you could really sort of smell the sort of the whole note of it. And so then you could also, and then on the test, that's when I found you really got the honey notes more on actually tasting it.
And it's not like your cheap honey taste. It's not like your runny honey that's like fake honey. We did craft it to taste very much like Manuka.
Yeah.
And that was all of the florals in that. It was hard. It was very hard.
If you actually had like a proper honeycomb, not like from a crunchy, because I swear if someone says in the comments a crunchy,
yeah, that's not that proper.
But if you actually get a proper honeycomb, actually try that. Obviously, where you got the hard shell on the outside, and then actually the soft honey in the middle. It actually tastes a lot more like that. It was completely, very much almost perfect to say.
Yeah, you get the pollen, don't you? You get that polleny, earthy taste, and it's really nice. But it doesn't taste like It doesn't taste like soil or grass, you know what I mean? But you can taste that like the very subtle nuance of like a teasing floral, and it was hard work.
Boutiques is the silent assassin of the live lounge brand. Let's be honest, Peter. Once people have it, like, holy shit, this is amazing. But people are just like coffee because they've been burnt by really bad coffee brands before, are a bit skeptical. So we're trying to convert the masses on this of, you know, coffee can still be good.
Yeah, a lot of people have been burned by coffee flavors, so we're trying to change that.
Well, I think as well, with a lot of brands that I've had, is either the flavor would be almost bearable, and you kind of sit there and go, okay, I fancy the coffee flavors, this will do for now. But then, literally, what a couple hours down the line, your coil's completely wrecked because it just literally kills the coil.
Or worst case scenario, a few of mine have been, it's almost like you're vaping mud.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, what is this? It's like, have they just literally swept the floor and just put it with some VG? It's like I could have dragged my balls through VG and it would have tasted more accurate to coffee. Why?
No, so I'll give that a mix up. I've made it publicly available on ALR, and I'll post the link in here. You want us to go and try and make that? It'll take you to that recipe. Give it a go. Give it a go. The only good coffee I found was Frappening by Brews Bros. The frappening, yeah.
The frappening, when it was available, was incredible, and they made that recipe publicly available because they discontinued doing it. But holy shit, that was a fucking phenomenal coffee.
Yeah. Let's see if we can compete with that. I think we probably can.
I'll tell you what, the last probably like a hot drink taste that I think I've had as a vape. If you ever tried it, it's Barista Brew.
Yeah, I've had a few Barista Brews. I've had their pumpkin spice latte. I was not overly fond.
But that is the biggest name in the coffee e-liquid world, isn't it? Barista Brews. You know,
well, their
multi-award winners
was pretty amazing. Like, I like their s'mores.
I've never had a s'more, so I can't really say. I could say I don't like the s'mores liquid.
Yeah, it was like a proper, a really high quality hot chocolate almost, but you had a little bit of a biscuity taste after, and it was all right.
I mean, me and Peter have like 24 to 26 boutique brews ideas.
Yeah, they're coming along now.
We're just waiting to see what people want more than anything, because we've got so many avenues to go through and so many different pathways. We're waiting to see what they want.
And we have merch coming soon.
Yeah, that should be no later than Wednesday, Thursday of next week, shouldn't it?
Awesome. And then hopefully with us by the weekend, and we have a little giveaway with a brand new 30mm Asgard happening next weekend. There she is, brand new in its bag.
She's gorgeous.
Let's open her up, and you know what? I love Asgards. I'm going to open this up. I have to sterilise my fingers.
I always add an S to it whenever people say about that particular idea.
But there she is. I'm just going to open it up a little bit.
So is it the Asgard or the Asgard Mini?
No, it's the Asgard. It's the full 30mm with 28mm with the boot ring. 30mm, isn't it? Yeah, it's all sealed, and there she is. Brand stunning RDA. So someone's going to win that next week, and all they've got to do is turn up and probably guess a number, and you'll be in with a chance, and then you're going to win some liquid. But what liquid you get is going to be decided by the wheel. It could be one of ours. It could be a partner liquid with Second Vape. You know, it could be anything. You could be getting anything, but the wheel will dictate. And then obviously you've got all your little bits and bobs in there as well. And I probably will.
Are you tempted, if it's a Live Lounge customer, to up it just slightly?
We might. You know, last time we threw in all sorts. So
because I'll happily put some money towards, if it's a Live Lounge or boutiques customer, especially if it's a boutiques, I'll show some love.
Yeah, we'll sort something out. You won't just be getting one bottle, because we're not tight.
I think maybe you should try to chuck in that the coffee.
Do you think we should chuck in just a boutiques? Just whoever wins it, we throw in a boutiques as well. So
there's no doubt there's going to be people out there that will sit there and go, I don't like coffees. Because of the reason that we just said. You know, but if you give them a free bottle, someone's going to go, actually, you know what? I'll give it a try. You know, see what it's like. Worst if I don't like it, it sits on the shelf. You know, that's fair to them. I could guarantee, you know, whoever gets that would enjoy it.
Oh.
Come on, Big D, join in.
I forgot how hard these hit, man. The Home Chaser coils. Tell you what, I'll throw in some Home Chaser coils with that Asgard as well. Is what I'll do.
Home Chaser coils hit harder than a midget being thrown through a window. They're just ridiculous. You're just like, where the fuck did this even come from? Why?
One of my favorite coil brands, though, has got to be Anonymous.
We have to change your mind.
Anonymous coils, I got though.
Well, I got some 0.5 alien coils from Anonymous in mine. Currently waiting till it should be cottoned up.
But I love the tins on Anonymous coils. Yeah, so nice. Yeah. The little tin, it's all in the detail. The packaging on those are amazing. I've met the guy; he's lovely.
You can take for people like the influencers and stuff like that. You know, that brand has got it right, because there's so many times where I've just literally, you can just slide it open and have the coil poking out. You know, or even when you fire it up that first time instead, and you get all those multicolors come across the top of it, and it's just like, that is a thing of beauty. But you don't want to use it as well, because then after a while it chars up and you have to clean it. That's the only problem with Mechs, is I think that's what a lot of people get turned off by. It's just the idea of you have to clean it.
That Loopsy cereal we did the other week is stunning. It is stunning, but I'm struggling to get out of this little well.
And Peter, from around June, I should be making some braids again, but it's just a hobby. They're primarily for me. I'll send you some though.
Right, Graham saying, "Where's my 20%? Codes aren't active." They should be, mate. They should be active. It's odd. Or at checkout, if we're having trouble with big bottles of jam, leave it with me overnight, and I'll get that thrown in. It might have not gone in there for some reason, but I'll make sure it's added in there so you can get your 20% off that as well, mate. But yeah, 20% off on the scroller along the bottom on all consumables. So that's your liquids, your coils, your cottons, and your stock coils. So dig in, guys.
Do it.
It's
In the famous words of our Lord Palpatine.
It's one of the best sort of discounts as well that I've seen around when I've been trying to shop around and have a look at places.
Because our prices generally on liquids are relatively well priced anyway. So you know, we're normally within the regions of ridiculous without being disrespectful to manufacturers.
Yeah.
So with this COVID relief, and we have cleared it with a lot of manufacturers as well on a one-on-one, they're quite happy for us to do this as a long-term thing because we have such good, close working relations with them.
Yeah.
So you're getting an extra 20% off all your free nick as well, and your free shipping over 35 quid.
Part of me died inside when it's just like, oh yeah, there's a 20%. It's like, yeah, sure. It's like,
Do us a favour, Graham. Abandon your cart. Put the products in. Abandon your cart, and then I'll have something to work off. I'll have a look, see why it's not. If it isn't in the 20%, it should be. So I will sort that for you, mate, and then you can process that tomorrow. Right, well, we're ready to try this. This is our peanut. What is it? Banoffee donut. So it is a banoffee peanut donut. So imagine little peanut sprinkles along the top.
what about doing a peanut brittle with coffee? Because peanut brittle is good.
Yeah, I do. I love peanut, and this is a flavour that I haven't tried in a very, very long time, and it is quite a nice peanut.
Thug life. Do you know how hard it is to take jam out of the basket? You're a legend, good sir.
I think we could up the banana on it, but that is really quite a nice donut flavour. That is really quite nice.
But the banana was meant to be subtle anyway, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's not your foamy banana. It's certainly not your foamy banana, and the peanut is carrying it through lovely there. It doesn't taste like an off note, if you know what I mean. It doesn't taste like, oh, hang on, there's a queer peanut. It tastes really quite nice. But once I tap that will need like a good 14 days steep on that because of the marshmallow and the meringue.
I was about to have a mild heart attack. Marshmallow, it's the devil's work.
It's got meringue in there and a couple of creamy and like custardy and caramel elements in there as well. So it will need a good steep time. But this tastes nice, man.
See, with the live lamps, you know, you're going a lot down the donut sort of side of things, a lot of desserties.
Yeah.
For now, obviously, until you go to fruits. You thought of maybe, I know there's obviously a brand out there that's already kind of big for this, but it's kind of an uncharted area for other brands. Is like your toast, sort of like your jams and toast, you know, and stuff like that.
But French do that, don't they? Like really
You've
heavily.
got French dude and
Saluparome donut is really good in donut mixes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you got also you got Jam Monster as well, haven't you? They do a lot of
Jam Monster. I bought some of the concentrate, and just it's like a one shot. I tried it, and just I don't know. I got a lot of off notes from it. It's different to their pre-mixed. I think they want to change the recipe, but there's something lost in translation there that doesn't quite work.
You're probably going to have to do a full-blown Joseph Fritzl on it and treat it like Elizabeth. Just leave it for years.
You probably
right.
will, but you shouldn't have to on a, you know, you shouldn't have to.
Well, I remember trying with Jam Monster, for example. You had when I first ever tried it on the Mech, you know, it's phenomenal. One of my favorite flavors for ages are the blueberry jam, and on toast one, and it was fantastic. I then came back to it just before I left because I thought I'd pick some up just because I didn't know, you know, where the vape shops were, would be up here or anything. So I thought, okay, well, I'll get some in, and it was not the same. It was not the same. Enough blueberry behind it. You know, normally you have that sort of full-on sort of the blueberry, but with this, it was so overpowered by almost like the pastry of the almost toast of the side.
I don't get that from Just Jam. I don't think it's kind of pushing too much on the doughnut. I think they've gone all out on the jammy texture and notes. I mean, it's good. It has a lovely mouthfeel and stuff like that, but it's missing a lot of the doughnut that you'd expect from a doughnut.
Yeah, you want to feel like you're biting it without the calories.
Yeah, it's heavily propped up by sweetener. It really is heavily propped up by sweetener. It's just all jammy sweetener.
As if you have to care about calories, either one of you. Let's be honest, we're all the same.
Well, now I've moved up here, I am worrying about the calories.
Yeah.
Don't be.
And lack of inactivity does lead to little COVID boobs, doesn't it?
So I'm running up and down the stairs with the sun all the time.
And I'm going to leave my hand here, Peter. So if I want to ask Ryan about a particular flavour that we've been talking about, well, I've been pestering about for a while, and just flap your hand down if I'm giving too much away. What do you think of a particular bean that's a flavouring that used to be used in ice cream? I could say it. It begins with a T, Peter. What do you think of that flavour?
I think that flavour sounds amazing, but we can't divulge that information on here, Chris. Otherwise, there's going to be another 20 flavours come out like that within the next month.
Very true.
People are watching.
Videos of me crying again.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Should have added more nuts and pistachio. Would have been good. Yeah.
I agree. I said pistachio.
I know. I do put these flavours out. They are like for people to work with. I wouldn't just run to market with this flavour. I'd take it back to the lab, test it, give it a good steep, find out where it's lacking, see if I can take anything out and replace it and stuff like that. Making an e-liquid for commercial use takes a lot of time. Well, sometimes, if you're doing it properly and you care.
I feel like me and Graham have a very similar taste profile. I just want to go on a mandate with him and have something to eat.
But if you're using a pistachio, I would probably go more down the hazelnut pistachio route rather than the peanut pistachio route.
What about pistachios and just a subtle amount of almond?
That would work as well, because almond's quite like not sweet, but it's a smooth tasting nut, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, Chris just says, Graham says, nope, I hate trifle.
As much as that wounds me, I could go for something really simple.
And that's almond, isn't it? Almond all over it.
I could go for a chocolate brownie with ice cream.
You don't get that on trifles from the supermarkets anymore. Is it like equal rights of something to not use flaked almonds anymore?
No, the ones I've been getting have been having the flaked almonds on it.
Where do you shop, Waitrose?
Shh. No secrets are spoiled here.
Yeah, Graham's got a brilliant idea. It's shown up on YouTube before it's shown up in our comments. How about a trifle topped with pistachios, but take out the trifle? So like a creamy pistachio mix would be good.
What about just a custard trifle where it's just you just take custard, creams, custards, and this is just for Graham, and just like a caramel or a banana topping with chocolate sprinkles, white chocolate.
Get away with the jam and like baby food kind of element of it.
Yeah, make it proper adult, just so we can try and tease him into a trifle.
Graham just wants pistachio.
Yeah, but this is just like me begging to him, just straight again, just the tip. Come on, go on, just the tip.
But yeah, it's been lovely, guys. We didn't do any advocacy or news type things this week, but we'll be covering that hopefully within the week. And we've got that giveaway next week. Get subbed, turn your notifications on, tell a mate, and someone's going to win an Asgard Mini, not an Asgard Mini, and it's an Asgard Maxi. It's the 30mm bugger, and you're going to get a host of liquids with that as well.
So what is the rules just for everyone watching sort of thing? What are the rules?
All you have to do is be on the live, and then we'll put a random number up. The first time we see it in the chat, they'll get picked out. Then we'll go to a wheel, and it'll just be like house brew, or and there'll be different options on a wheel. We'll spin it, and whatever it lands on, that's what they get. But we'll probably throw something in as well. So yeah, it's going to be good, man. But anyone outside the UK must pay for the postage, because I just sent one to New Zealand from last week, and it cost us about 20 quid.
Is America, like, if it's American though, they're not taking any postage at them, are they?
Yeah, you can slip it through.
From the UK, I think, because obviously we're the UK variant of COVID. I don't think they are taking anything in.
So we have shipped some, and they have landed.
Oh, okay.
We have shipped some, and they have landed. So yeah, it's not a massive concern. But all of our winnings get there in the end. If there are delays in your country, expect delays. But we normally post it within a week, which is slow going for us. But we have orders to deal with and stuff like that, and lab work and all sorts of other things. And we both work full time as well. I'm a night shift team leader, and Chris works full time
11
as well.
till 9 minimum.
We are generally pretty busy guys. So yeah, it does get out within the week. Obviously, we do have to focus on main orders first, but it does get out within the week. So yeah, there's a parcel going to New Zealand which costs 20 quid. So this is the reason that if anyone wins outside the UK, you do have to pay your own shipping. So get in contact and slip a couple of quiddy into Portman Pat's pocket. But yeah, it's worth it. It's worth it. You're going to win Asgard. You're going to win a host of juices, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be great. Chris doesn't work. He works his mouth.
Cheers.
He works his lip. Yeah, it's been great. What are you trying
to imply? I'm on my knees all the time. I wish. I don't get that sort of money.
Yeah. Paying that good. But yes, guys, it's been lovely. It's been amazing having you on, Ryan. We'll have to get you on again. And thanks for joining. It's been lush, man. It's been really nice.
I'm very welcome.
Does anyone have any questions? Does anyone want to say goodbye and do all the things that you normally do to not be an ignorant bugger like me, always hopping off? But yeah, would you like to start that one, Chris? Say tatty bye.
Tatty fluff, and I am not too young to work. I'm 30, as surprising as it is. Bye.
Ryan?
See you later, everyone, and thank you for joining as well.
It's been a pleasure, mate, and I'll see you soon. Just evicted them both because I'm a bugger like that. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. We will be back next week, and the giveaway will be happening. So make sure you set that little reminder bell on and tell a mate, get it shared, and join in the fun. It's been absolutely great having you all here, and it's time to say goodbye. No. So I will catch you all next week. Bye.